Daphne, क्या ना?
Oh yeah. Okay. So hi everybody. This is Ishika Johari, Anupam Sanandhya, Vinod Kamath, and Sai Kiran Jakkan. We're all here for my brainstorming session, which is for the product Workday. Thank you everybody for being here. How we'll go about it is that I'll briefly take you guys through Workday's overview and um, some stuff about how the company has been doing over the past few years and some recent metrics for the first 20 to 25 minutes. And then I think for the rest, 25, 30 minutes, we can all brainstorm along the lines of three verticals, considering customer, business, and technology. I'll just get started. Workday, if I have to talk in layman terms, first of all, is like an operating system for big companies to manage their people, money, and operations all in one place. It's an entire suite of enterprise solutions, and in its most well-known product is Workday's human capital management. They have many products actually, and if I just show you like a very bird's eye view of what all they have. You have Workday procurement, Workday financial management, Workday HCM, Prism Analytics, Workday People Analytics, Cloud Platform, and it goes so on and so forth. Particularly, Workday HCM has recruiting, payroll, time tracking, and planning, and financial management has procurement and adaptive planning. Um, why do companies use Workday? It saves time and effort. It's an all-in-one solution. At least that's how they market it, and it provides real-time insights. And it is cloud-based and it's secure. Um, who all use Workday? So HR teams use Workday, finance teams use it, managers and employees use it, and of course it's a B2B company. And another simple analogy for it could be that it's like a smartphone essentially for companies. So just like phones have different apps, Workday is essentially a combination of different tools for companies to use seamlessly together, which is primarily HR, finance, and operations. And since I mentioned the multiple products that they have, among those, Workday HCM, which is Human Capital Management, and Financial Management, these two are the most popular and the largest revenue contributors. Then we have Workday Adaptive Planning and Prism Analytics, which have growing revenue stream demands. And then we have some more like Workday People Analytics, Workday Student, and Workday Extend. Lastly, we have Workday Payroll, which is also a part of HCM, but it's a standalone revenue stream. Again, all of these products are not all encompassing. There are a few more as well. There's Workday Learning as well. But this is what I'll go through on a very high level basis. Um, yeah, and as you can see over here, we have Workday's product and history. If we talk about Workday's North Star currently, it revolves around being the leading cloud-based enterprise solution that seamlessly integrates HCM, financial, and analytics, again, driving automation and AI-powered decision making. Um, its purpose is to help organizations manage their most valuable assets, that is people, again, HR, finance, and analytics. Mission is to deliver innovative solutions that streamline all of these aspects, and values are customer success, innovation, integrity, fun, and sustainability. And as you can see, it is in the ERP market. Which is enterprise resource planning, and in general categories of the common categories that we have for ERP are, as you can see over here, we have on the left, these are some of the common ERP categories, and Workday has some of these verticals which adhere to some of the categories that have been highlighted on the left. So this is what Workday attributes to in terms of generally how ERP is. And yeah, that's about the product and history. We can go a bit into the timeline over here. Just a minute. Yeah, how Workday has evolved to what it is today is that it was founded in 2005 by Anil Bhusri and Dave Duffield. And essentially, it was launched as a human capital management software, which is still stands as one of their most strongest verticals or products. And it was done to set the foundation for HR digital transformation. In 2012, it acquired Adaptive Insights for planning. In 2015, it introduced financial management. 2018 to 21, it grew into procurement and accelerated AI/ML adoption. In 2023, it achieved about 1,000 plus enterprise customers, reinforcing market leadership. Yeah, and today it's a cloud native AI driven platform, again, integrating HR finance analytics into a unified enterprise solution. Um, if we talk about the business model and revenue streams, it's a subscription based SaaS model, which is 95% recurring revenue. The revenue streams have core products as HCM, financial management, and adaptive planning. The add-ons and partnerships are AI-driven analytics, blockchain, and security. I'm sorry, I didn't go into the competitors. The competitors currently, the big time competitors actually are Oracle, SAP, and ADP. SAP, I guess, if we compare it with or Workday's recruitment platform, it would be SAP Success Factors. And similar to that, Oracle and ADP also have their wings for that. So they sometimes overlap and mostly overlap in terms of recruiting. And so, yeah, those would be the competitors. Um, yeah, financial performance. So in 2020, it had $6.5 billion in revenue, and in 2024, it had $7.26 billion, which shows consistent growth. And the customer retention is 95%. I read a metric somewhere that about 50% of the Fortune 500 companies are clients for Workday, which is, I would say, a fairly huge amount for Workday being a B2B. Um, the current challenges, the major challenges I would say in terms of revenue would be that the premium pricing model may limit adoption among small to mid-sized businesses. And that is one thing that I think they don't really concentrate much on in any way present right now. If we come to the customer, so customers and user demographics, um, the target market for Workday is large enterprises, primarily in North America, which is about 74.5% of their share. Key users are HR professionals, finance teams, hiring managers, employees, again. And for employees, they have self-service portals for payroll, benefits, and learning. From company to company, it differs. Some companies have or provide employees with basically features which could help them with employee performance enhancement as well. And it depends on, I feel that is another point that a major point that we can touch on later while brainstorming, which is that Workday has individual experiences for each company currently. But yeah, again, coming back to the customer base strength is 50% of Fortune 500, as I mentioned. And again, some of the other challenges that I haven't mentioned yet are that they have limited presence in Asia Pacific, which makes geographical expansion a pressing issue, and it's a major growth opportunity. If I come to the core features and technology stack, so in terms of the visual workflows and drag and drop tools, it enables easy reorganization and updates for HR teams. It has adaptive workforce planning, which is used by HR, finance, operational data. AI and machine learning is utilized a lot, which helps companies analyze skill gaps and optimize recruiting strategies. Again, skill gaps being the feature that I was talking about employees having the feature of performance enhancement. Then compensation and pay equity dashboards supports collaborative compensation decisions with transparency. Um, Diversity, equity, and inclusion hiring tools are also present, which enables companies to have that as in today's day and age, being an important criteria for companies. It removes bias in hiring, which is an important criteria for many aspects in terms of companies' reputation as well. And then payroll management, it has real-time payroll calculations, automated compliance updates, and seamless recruitment payroll integration. So there's no native social collaboration tool as of now. So it needs external applications like Slack or Microsoft Teams. And there's a heavy reliance on integrations in general. So third-party ERP and CRM tools may not always be fully compatible. Um, yeah, and the technology stack is robust. But again, seamless integration across third party is needed. Sorry about that. And if I come to the key performance indicators, so currently, some of the key performance indicators are annual recurring revenue, which is 7.26 billion, customer retention rate, which is 95%, industry leading, system uptime, which is 99.7% with a very high reliability. Churn rate is only 3%, demonstrating strong loyalty, and customer satisfaction is about 95%. Also, another qualitative aspect is awareness, and market share is 10 to 12% year on year internationally. Um, and yeah, if we talk about the user experience and pain points, um, the strengths would be that it's very employee focused. It has employee focused analytics and adaptive workforce planning. It's easy to use in terms of UX with real time workforce insights. Challenges would be again lack of a native social collaboration, limited mobile and offline functionality. I feel like that has come up as a personal pain point in many of our team meetings as well, that they don't offer a lot of offline functionality, for example, how Google Docs does, maybe. And then complex data transfer, so 4 to 5 extra hours per recruitment cycle. And yeah, that would be the user experience and pain points. And we can go through the SWOT as well that I have open here. So, these are the most highlighted aspects when we talk about the main SWOT analysis. And so, strengths being Workday is very customer centric and has a strong technical stack. They are implementing MLAI solutions and complying with the strictest data privacy regulations. There are opportunities for Workday to expand into Asia Pacific, which we talked about, and developing its tech stack with maybe utilizing blockchain as well for security dependent features. That could be an aspect we could discuss about when we talk about if Workday can kind of be offered as one tool instead of each company having its own Workday experience. So I think blockchain would be important over there as an opportunity. And then again, another opportunity that is not mentioned here would be the third party aspect that we talked about. Coming to the weaknesses, there are some technical usage issues, that is data transfer, again, as I mentioned, despite the product having a premium pricing model. So that's a very big weakness. And customers, again, are also very largely, hugely concentrated in North America. Threats would be the political and socio-economic threats. Workday faces strong competition as highlighted by SAP's and Oracle's investments in IoT and hyper automation solutions. So again, over here, high level problems would be geographic diversification and diversifying tech as well. I won't go into much of the details for each of the SWOT points over here. We can go into it if needed because there are a lot of metrics. But I think we can open the floor for any doubts, first of all, and if we are done with that, then we can talk about the brainstorming. So, yeah, anything and everything is open. Um, Currently, if I start with something, if you guys don't have any doubts, I could start with, but I think.
Uh, I just have one question. Are there any latest news on how Workday is planning to expand or something? If we have anything, or maybe we can just Google it or something. That's
So in terms of the latest news, I feel what I'm aware of is that Workday primarily is trying to, again, I think it's the same for huge B2B enterprises in general, which is that they're trying to reduce their operational costs and try to increase revenue. they know that they should be focusing on Asia Pacific. So these are just high level things that we also diagnose, and then I think that is also what they're trying to focus on. But I feel like as a personal user that on these days uses Workday a lot personally, I would say what they should really focus on is also the customer aspect of it all, which is it becomes a pain, really huge pain for customers to, if I really go into it on a daily basis, filling everything. If I talk about their recruitment platform, for each and every company and job portal, every time again and again and again, it's a very repeated process that is very mundane in today's day and age. I feel like 2025, in 2025, we shouldn't be having that issue. And why would we as users want or need to have the use for third party tools such as Simplify, and not just be dependent on Workday for that matter? And yeah, I guess with that, we can open the floor for any ideas that you guys might have on any of the verticals
Like
or
what I
any
suggested,
doubts.
Workday, we should have a Workday account, where we can fill up some of our personal information. And when we go onto any platform for any company or any organization that we're filling the form for, Workday can pre-populate our account details accordingly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's somewhat like Google. Google also
If
has some
not-
of our data.
If not that also, like the simplest thing is you can skip the part of creating an account like what Oracle does. You go to Oracle, they explicitly tell you you don't need an account to explicitly you don't need an account for this application. Basically, they're taking a dig at it from Workday itself. Yeah, I never noticed that.
Right. Workday requires you to make an account all the
Account
time.
had a create password and stuff.
Exactly.
There it's just an email ID and there's an OTP and you are already in the application. Just a bunch of. So I understand because what they do is Workday is they deal like it's a SaaS world, right? So they sell solutions to different companies. So in that way, they want an account for themselves, but they can make that process simpler as well. But that's
Wouldn't that increase the spams if you're not verifying creating an account or something?
no, you are creating an account. It's just with creating an account, with the create password and stuff. That's the only simple. That's what happens. You have noticed.
Then
You are still creating an account.
you're saying
but it's still
the
verified.
authentication process is much simpler where you don't
Simpler,
have to
yeah.
enter the password.
Yeah.
Because people don't want to remember password.
Create
That
password.
is one, but also for some of the companies, the reason for doing that is also, let's say you don't have access to your email ID. Let's say I'm logging onto your laptop, right?
Yeah.
I want to log into Workday.
Yeah.
Now I don't have my mobile or my laptop.
Yeah.
How will I access my email on your laptop? It would be easier if I know the password already. So the authentication system, if you're talking about specifically, that differs because the
Yeah.
use cases are different.
That is one point.
Password is much more convenient because you can access it on any device. You don't need OTP. If you're using it on your device, it is much more easier
But
for.
then what Workday requires us for recruitment platforms, we have different accounts for different.
Yeah, that I
That is a.
that is a big pain point from
Exactly.
people. Yeah.
So there's two approaches to look at it.
Right,
Basically,
correct.
solve the process of if you are creating an account, make it very simpler or
Hmm.
just centralize it. Or like kind of decentralize it when you talk about blockchain as an option, right? Like secure privacy. Like what it is.
So when you talk about the authentication feature, by the way, I want to know why exactly is that a pressing feature that you feel is really needed also? Because as a person who's in the Workday team, I'd want to understand that pain point.
For example, even for Oracle, I'm creating an account, but it's so much quicker for Oracle to do that. If you have noticed, the headline itself is on any application is you don't need to create an account explicitly to do this application, which feels so convenient to the user.
Right.
You just ready into the application, you just bring it into it. It's just a very minor thing, but I know. I just wanted to.
I agree. I think that is simpler authentication. However, I mean, authentication would not be a bigger pain point because Workday in itself is not a push product. So there's a difference between push and pull products. Right? Pull products are basically where customers want to use that because they have to use it. There is no option. You have to use it. So for pull products, the initial user journey or user onboarding doesn't matter that much because user will have to do it. It definitely matters, but it is not giving significant impact.
Yeah.
Because it's a pull product. Users need is there, right? Push product is when a business is trying to push a product onto you. Like for example, let's say Instagram. Instagram is not something users need is there, right? You're trying to create a behavior, user behavior. That thing you will need a seamless user onboarding where user can just access it quickly. because user doesn't have a need. You have a need that user should use it.
Yeah.
So I would, that's a good point, but I wouldn't say that's the biggest.
Yeah, it's
issue there.
definitely not
Yeah.
the biggest concern
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
there are many. Because then this is again that's the
Correct, I
recruiting
agree, yeah.
platform we're talking about.
Yeah. And UX can definitely be
Yeah.
improved, yeah. Maybe they can make it either login through password or OT.
Yeah.
Just make it both.
And
Yeah.
only about the recruitment platform we're talking about.
Correct.
There are
Lot of
things
things.
when from the perspective of an organization or an employee of an organization, Workday will give you an entirely different set of things.
Yeah. And what if we all use Simplify along with Workday?
Right.
Why don't they just integrate Simplify, partner with them and make it
Hmm.
efficient enough so that, for example, when we use Simplify,
Yeah.
either it's some kind of issue that Simplify where we have to refill a text box or we get the stuff. What if they collaborate together and make it a seamless experience?
Yeah.
It's just you enter, you upload a different resume in case and it's just autofilled for you.
Yeah.
It's much more simpler and integrated and there's flow to it.
So essentially, instead of partnership, this would essentially be an acquisition in terms of.
It could be both ways, as in.
Yeah, I just want to explore the business aspect of that, how it could benefit both parties, maybe. Because Simplify is a really small.
Yeah, do we need that?
It's a
Because
start.
why can't Workday build it on themselves? Like, but it's not a very
That's
revolutionary-
true.
It's
That's
not a
true.
complicated
If I'm a
concept.
big conglomerate like Workday, I'd build that myself rather than.
Yeah.
With a team of
Yeah.
small people, like
Or
less
you can
people.
hire some other third party which can do that
Correct.
for you.
Yeah. So why not build that? I asked you, why hasn't Workday done that then?
Yeah, especially with everyone delving into AI and like chatbot, like everything, like you want the user experience to be good, right?
But is it because their customers technically are businesses,
That's
not
true.
the users that we
Yeah,
are?
Because their entire revenue sources are the companies. They don't care about essentially about
Correct.
the customer that is daily logging in.
Yeah.
As long as the companies are satisfied and paying them.
Companies, do what you want to do with your recruitment plan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Because you can see in Workday applications, companies customize it, they have some sort of customization in terms of fields and stuff, but nothing more than that.
Right.
Not a lot, but
Yeah, very good.
I guess Workday is the leader at CM, right?
Yes.
For the HCMs or all the payroll platforms compared to.
Yeah, but I think Zoho is a good competitor, and in general, yeah, if I'm not wrong,
Companies.
let me just
You
check.
mentioned that it's one of the most like.
Yeah, the market share is really
The
good.
percentage between different venues they have, like what it is there.
Zoho is the
I could
biggest in
pull up
India.
that figure for you.
In India, it's the biggest. Zoho is the biggest profitable company in India.
Because Workday doesn't focus that much on small and medium-sized
Yeah.
businesses, and India is a growing venture for
Mm.
that.
Okay.
But Zoho is a CRM, right? Zoho is not a.
It's a CRM company.
Yeah, it's a CRM company. This is not a CRM, and this is the.
Yeah, that's why maybe we
So along with CRM, they might have bundled it. I don't know about it. What Zoho is giving.
What about financial management? You mentioned it's the second most important.
Zoho.
Yes,
It's a
for
separate-
Workday,
okay.
yes. For Workday's revenue
So
streams,
you
financial
want to
is.
maybe dwell each of them or look at a higher view, like we spend there and how do you want to?
I think we could all pick one as well, but in general, I feel all of us have limited understanding of Workday's
Correct.
multiple verticals in terms of, because since it's so intangible a
Payroll
product.
is what we have all dwelled with, like then
I think payroll being
finance management.
having had WorkX for sure, I think we've all dealt with payroll and HCM, and then I think HCM, the recruitment portal is something that comes under HCM. So yeah.
And also, I think delving into the current whatever modules are there, that is one way. But I think the problem here, I think, is not losing the customers, right? Because retention rates are
Yeah.
very low, and we have to expand the customers, make it convenient for small businesses to use it.
Yeah.
So maybe another we can look at it is what are the gaps small size companies have in terms of what is limiting small size companies apart from pricing, because pricing is something I don't think we are able to control it unless we again brainstorm a bit on that. What is something that we can make it easier for smaller companies or businesses to start using Workday? That is one. Or is there any other use case for big companies that Workday can be used on? Like, for example, big businesses are already their customers, right? Is there any upselling that can be done? Like, you already are using it, now use this as well. So either sell more to existing customers or have more customers. These are the two angles I would at least look at.
Also, one thing that a big idea is since we mentioned about Workday making the recruitment thing centralized about it, and if you have all this data of all the applicants, why not get into the business of maybe suggesting jobs as well? You have partners already.
Like having its own job portal. Why even have this need of people going to LinkedIn or JobRite or any other job portal, Indeed,
JobRite
and
is
then go to Workday?
Similar to what you do, you put in your preferences because they have the data of all these candidates. They have a lot of pool of data, so why not? It's just a vague thought I had, but is that an option you guys think?
You consider it's a B2B, right? So this
Okay.
is delving into B2C.
Customer.
Yeah, this is delving into B2C.
Okay. Makes
So again, I don't know how it ties up with their mission, which I don't think.
So none of their verticals are B2s. None of them are deviate apart from B2B.
Their mission is to deliver innovative solutions that streamline finance, HR, and planning processes. So I wouldn't say that goes.
Yeah, it goes against
Yeah.
that.
But I feel if in case their mission is not restricted to just companies, that is a very good point. I mean, it takes the company into I think
broader segment.
yeah, broader segment, and it's like definitely a larger conversation and maybe like a
Correct.
15-year moonshot goal.
Yeah.
But
Because there are so many companies coming in the similar space.
but I feel Workday already has that awareness and reputation established
Yeah.
for this to be a possibility because adding to what you said, Workday can essentially, for example, if I as a user have my resume on Workday, and suppose we do assume that Workday has a job board and has job listings. So now if me as a user am applying to this one role at this one company, say XYZ, then another company which has similar roles should be wanting me as a candidate as well if they really want good talent and it aligns with their goals. Workday could enable that process.
As in, there's so many applicants
If
who
Work,
might be not
yeah,
fit
if
for one.
Workday is a pool for everything related to jobs, then they could essentially do that. I don't think there's anything, or maybe LinkedIn comes close to something related to that, since it is networking and jobs and all of that. But I think LinkedIn also doesn't come close to anything which helps companies with something like that.
LinkedIn only helps in
I
recruiting.
think yes, easy apply is a good option because companies can go and look at people's profiles if they enable that feature. But then I feel like Workday has more leverage over here because if they utilize blockchain and their privacy standards properly, then essentially they have such a larger database of information for each employee as well as each employer. So I don't know if that's an avenue or if it's feasible, but
It could be an option. One thing I just wanted to understand is since we have limited experience with Workday apart from the payroll and the recruitment thing, you as a group, what did you face in terms of your research? Is like when you guys brainstormed, pick the product, was there anything specific that stood out for you to discuss? Instead, we could have a look at that.
I think all of us collectively agreed that Workday is personally maybe a bit of a tough nut to crack in terms of that because it has so many verticals and it's intangible for us because it's B2B. It might be safe in many aspects, but it is difficult in many aspects as well. So what I would say is that again, the recruitment and the job portal stuff is also what we kept coming back to, and then expanding to Asia Pacific is also one thing that it's a well established fact that that has to be done. Again, I would say large scale enterprise focus on large scale enterprises in comparison to small and mid sized companies is also another thing that I don't know. I honestly don't know why they don't leverage that. And in terms of education and assisting employees, Workday learning is already a thing. So that is also all of many of the aspects that we came up with are already existing but upcoming. So that those are some of the things that we discussed.
Are they scaled enough that our organizations that are associated with Workday actually using them to that extent? For example, Workday Learning, we just discovered in the class the other day. And our company is actually using that feature for their employees. If that is not an option, like they haven't
They
used
should
it
be
up.
promoting it.
Yeah, they should be
Promoting
optimizing.
it.
Yeah, because I feel like there's not much awareness about that.
Because companies then do a lot of partnerships with other companies who use like learning platforms for
their
modules and
employees.
stuff. And that are part of the onboarding itself.
What is
So
onboarding, even upskilling?
even upskilling as well. So if it's a market leader already in this field,
Mhm.
maybe they can tap onto that market as well. So there are so many companies, my small companies out there who make courses on upskilling
Right.
courses. Because that's onboarding is like a generic thing which is compulsory in every program.
Mhm.
If Workday can maybe tap into that
Yeah.
as a market leader, that could be an option.
I feel like even the name of the company Workday is it's a good thing as well, because if we can talk about essentially what you were mentioning, that uh what would basically enable or like I would say push Workday towards becoming a B2C as well,
Yeah.
which was the job board idea. Um, I feel that goes well with the company's name as well, because
Yeah.
essentially Workday is for like making work days better. So,
Hmm.
and it could basically have many core touch points with that.
Yeah.
And currently it's not utilizing that. Um, yeah, I mean they have so many verticals that are not even visible to us as
Yeah.
Like I can see.
yeah, as individuals. I
Right.
wouldn't have known about.
And I'm not even sure if in supply chain and project
What do
management,
they
are
have?
they even how much of stake they have in terms
Yeah.
of market share.
And what do they actually give?
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem is we are not able to
What
see the back end of Workday, right?
Yeah.
So that's an issue. Correct.
Like there's BI intelligence and analytics.
Mhm.
So many people are doing that.
Yeah.
So many firms are.
Also, I agree.
To your point about, you know, it might be worth considering what really blocks or is an obstacle for small and medium-sized businesses to join Workday. Essentially, is that I feel so many SMBs they lack dedicated IT staff required for this seamless Workday implementation. So I feel that is a big avenue for Workday to explore. If there is dependency on IT staff still, that might not be good because it is essentially blocking them from a bigger market, and then maybe that would open geographical opportunities as well with India as an option.
That is, I agree to that. Fundamentally, that might be an option. Like for small companies, there might not be a person who can give away that give the time or integrate Workday, right? Uh, but my other question is like, with limited experience, whatever I have had, seeing the company structure, do small companies and medium-sized companies at least understand the value of Workday? What I mean by that is a lot of the work is still done with Excel sheets, right? Now, what is the incentive for medium-sized or small-sized companies to switch from Excel sheet to Workday? That is the problem we are solving for, I
Hmm.
believe, for small companies, right? So is that value proposition still clear to smaller companies? For big companies, you can't manage everything on Excel sheet. That's why they need to have a ERP system like Workday. For small and medium-sized companies, if we want to have that market, then the direct competitor I feel is not even SAP or anything. It is direct competitor is Excel sheet is what I believe. That is the hypothesis that I have.
Hmm.
Yeah.
For small and medium businesses, Workday can give them scaled down version of their own software.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
Something which is
Not
as
fully enhanced, but just suitable for them.
yeah. So which is simpler, like which is simpler. You don't need hundreds of functionalities because it just overwhelms smaller companies. Yeah.
Workday also have tiers of its subscription, which
Subscriptions would be there. Yeah.
unlocks some features. It could be those. Then they should be very
It's the same. I don't know if you guys remember in class when we opened Workday's website, we saw there was an event wherein they were promoting AI. So there are a lot of transitions that into AI. And I just Google searched and I posted a screenshot in the group which talks about different solutions they are investing in terms of AI. For example, there's Sensia. I posted in the group.
Okay.
So I feel they are doing some stuff which is very much related to AI, but we don't know what is the approaches. So
Can you go over this again? I missed your first line about this.
So, if you remember in the class,
Yeah.
when we opened Workday's website in general, we could see an event where they were talking about the upcoming AI innovations they are investing in. So on the website, I could see these solutions they are bringing up, like their Sensia, their Sleep,
in these platforms.
which is just integrating everything with AI with what existing platforms they have.
But see, that is okay. So are they going to charge more for it? Then only the revenue will increase.
Yeah.
That is first. And second is because already if the big companies are still using it, like
Is it to mainly
because
to
tomorrow the competitors will also do it. Like
Yeah, yeah.
SAP will not stay.
Maybe they are already doing it.
Yeah, maybe they're already doing it.
Is it just to stay up with the competition?
Yeah.
Because other companies are doing, or is it like to improve the customer, or if they can see the like it doesn't happen normally, but companies are moving away from maybe wholesale to something else because they are updating their.
That moving away
It is very difficult in the
Yeah.
recruiting space and generally, but maybe
Maybe
it's just based on the feedback they have received from existing customers that would be.
Yeah. They're improving the experience.
Because I guess this is a brought up as a point because I guess every other company is doing that.
Yeah, Workday has reached a stage of maturity, right?
Yeah.
So now, will the revenue be 2x? I doubt, but
It can be increased if it taps into unknown territories, like apart from North America.
That's
a
yeah,
very opportunity.
correct.
So that is an big option of increase. And since they're improving on the AI forefront, maybe that can also help.
Right. Yeah. Maybe also they are not going after mid-sized and smaller companies because the revenue from smaller and mid-sized companies is not that much as compared to big.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's already mentioning that like most of the Fortune 500 companies use Workday.
Yeah,
right?
I
So
mean,
maybe
yeah.
it's not us in that direction. It doesn't make sense for them to look at.
Correct. I
medium
think
size.
I agree with Anupam's point. Like expanding the market could be the best thing that
Yeah.
they can do right now.
Globalizing.
But again, the problem would be this now. For all the years, the churn rate and retention rate is very high when it is low. So you have to have a very strong value proposition which will allow them to switch.
Switch from
the
existing system.
Correct.
Hmm.
One thing could be
They don't have enough incentive to do that anyway right
correct.
now.
Yeah. One thing could be you make the switching very seamless. What I mean by that is very dumb example, but
Exporting Excel to Workday.
correct. Yeah,
Very
something
easy.
like
Make
that.
it easy.
Something like that. Yeah.
Make your ETL load very easy.
Right. For example, if you are switching iPhone 15 to iPhone 16, the switch is very, very seamless, right? So that's why you also don't mind doing it as well.
Yeah.
If you can make someone switching from SAP to Workday and actually create web pages and promote, okay, this is the value proposition. Like if you are using SAP, these are the three things you are missing out on. These are the three things that you will gain from it. And it will take 30 minutes or 1 hour to switch from SAP to, again, I'm exaggerating it, but from SAP to Workday. And we will assist you for that. Like, let's say an IT department or IT person will assist them to do it. Maybe it can be an introductory call or something. Like you can, again, that is a user funnel, right? Just know how you can do it. Click on it, send an email, the call gets scheduled. In that call, the value proposition would be clear. Then you convert that, try to convert that particular customer.
Recommendation can be a complementary factor.
Yeah, so expanding the market could be a very, very good thing. That will actually maybe double the revenue or something, maybe. That is one thing. Yeah, I agree with that. But again, the second thing was going to the smaller companies, not sure. I mean,
if you go to smaller companies, give them scaled down versions of
yeah, scaled out, like, yeah, because the competition is the Excel sheet. Excel sheet is the competition.
Or any other small startups.
Yeah.
Which offer the same thing which Workday does actually.
Correct. Yeah.
In their own territories, in their own companies. Or
right.
Email probably has something. LA has something.
Correct.
One thing that came up when you brought up the SAP point as an example was that I kind of searched, what is there that prevents companies from switching from, say, SAP success factors to or Workday. SAP success factors is their competitor, Workday recruitment's competitor. You guys must have come across it while job applications as well. So I think some of the points are that there's a deep integration. So companies heavily invested in SAP's suite of products benefit from the seamless integration that SAP Success Factors offers within the SAP ecosystem. And so switching again might, so there's an ecosystem that's essentially been created. And then the other thing that I actually, it came as kind of a surprise to me is tailored, sorry, not that. Yeah, tailored solutions. So SAP Success Factors provides extensive customization options, and it allows businesses to tailor the system to their specific needs. And Workday, it is robust, but it offers very fewer customization possibilities currently. And so it mostly doesn't align with companies requiring highly specialized configuration. So even if the UI is better than, say, Success Factors, that takes higher priority for those organizations.
So I didn't get
In
it.
general,
Last point was?
last point was that even if the UI is better, that of course takes higher priority, the
Right.
integration
So
and
integration,
customization
yeah.
I guess
possibilities.
B2B do not care about a lot about UI UX as
Yeah.
much as the customer.
Same,
It's
push
the
and pull.
ecosystem is the most important thing.
It's a push, sorry, it's a pull product, that's why we won't care about
Yeah.
you.
Can we go quickly to the opportunities, weaknesses, and strengths?
Yeah.
Maybe we can find out
Yes.
something because. Hold on.
I think we're 40 minutes on time
Okay,
currently.
we want to talk about data transfers,
Kind of
Yeah.
covered.
exactly,
No question.
blockchain.
AI
Any
offerings that
threats?
we're already working on.
So then, I think I missed on the
So-
North Star. What was the North Star for this?
So North Star, okay. Yeah. So the North Star it revolves around being the leading cloud-based enterprise solution that seamlessly integrates HCM, financial management, and analytics, driving automation, AI-powered decision making, and real-time insights for businesses.
But no,
Big
Honestly,
terms.
I feel like there's an
It's a big
opportunity. It's a big bundle, many North Stars, many stars, I'd say. But I feel like coming across this again, real-time insights for businesses is a thing we could discuss on, because I'm not sure what currently
When it comes to
revolves
AI
around.
insights, there can be a lot of insights that businesses can have. It depends upon the departments, it depends upon what data is the organization feeding it, like what do they want from it,
Mm.
right? It could be increase in sales revenue, your customer
True.
reporting, vendor management, a lot of things.
Hmm.
It's a broad topic.
Yeah. And uh, business analysis also comes from the product data, right? Like, for example, if I have a website, that data would be needed to make a holistic decision. Now that Workday cannot give me that. Like, I'm saying business analysis can be done through obviously Workday, but in some aspect of it, like it won't tell me about how my product is performing and everything, right? Like how many customers are visiting and all that.
Which
Only-
use case are we talking about,
I'm
though,
talking
as a
about-
business analyst in the industry?
As a business, you said about giving business insights, right? From business insights, there are two parts to it. First one is whatever existing is there, payroll, whatever is there. Insights about that. It's a limited insight. It's not giving full business insight. The other parts of insights are, let's say I have a product, it's a website, right? Now, how many users are coming, how many users are dropping? That is also insight, right, from business angle. That doesn't get covered in Workday.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not a single one-stop
Product
solution.
analytics,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not a one-stop solution for analysis is what my point is. Yeah, but it's a good addition. I think they're already doing that through
Yeah,
AI.
yeah,
Then
I
again,
saw that.
Yeah.
we have new products coming up,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right, from Workday itself.
Right. So I would say we've explored the customer aspect, the business aspect a lot. Are there any points that you guys have for technology?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
For
Yeah, this is where you meant that there's an option, like it mentions IoT and hyper automation solutions. Like what exactly does that? Like, is it for specific vertical or anything? IoT,
IoT feels like if you come ask me about IoT related to business and human-centered whatever HCM platform, it feels like attendance and payroll management integrated into each other,
okay.
or what else? Inventory management. That could be there when it comes to IoT.
Workday is not.
Hmm.
Okay, that is
Got
what
it.
is.
A lot of things like
Yeah.
everything inside this room can be put on your
Yeah,
SAP or whatever your database is there.
yeah, even attendance system, employees are coming, employees are going, yeah.
Yeah.
IoT can be made of
Yeah.
use there.
Okay.
Probably this is what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe
Yes, that's
when we
correct.
go for a shift, we just swipe in our card.
Yeah, that is
Instead,
also IoT.
instead
That
of
is
doing
IoT.
that, like having it more automated and stuff.
Correct.
Like if you just enter the room and like you give a signal, you
Yeah.
give a gesture, and you're there. Something like that is what
I feel like that then
Not that exactly.
that comes up as a big opportunity, because then if you can kind of enable, because a lot of companies actually, you know what, I think what they struggle with as a personal issue or company to company issue is that many employees, especially after hybrid work came up as a big aspect, is many people not working up to the mark or working for the hours that they're being paid for. And for that, many companies took different approaches, say uh, on-screen monitoring. But then how do you kind of monitor inside the office? You know, you can't completely monitor that. It might not be ethical as well. But then to some extent, if you're a business and you have employees, then you might want to get the most out of that for the amount that you're paying them. And I feel like Workday could help with that again. As IoT came up, that could be.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how, but if they have that base technology established, then there could be avenues to explore maybe. So maybe that could be a point.
Yeah, like maybe even if a meeting is going on, who all attended it, what are the notes?
But then
Yeah.
again, that
We
is
don't
already
do
Yeah.
a fast.
Yeah.
that is that is already
Yeah,
done by
that is already done. No, but then it excused to. But yeah,
But like, again, like I think we are deviating from what they actually do. Like what is their core? Maybe, but it is not that big of an option.
so what is it? Let's say if we had to, whatever discussion we have had, if we have to point out three things that Workday could implement, or four things, three, four things, what would you guys say?
Yeah, let's start to summarize everything. I mean, I would say,
Like, are there enough points for tech, or we could just go to some? Or there's
Tech, we talked about AI part.
AI part. Yeah, so that's covered.
we talked about AI and IoT.
IoT.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I feel again, the recruitment platform has major problems. But that's again on the consumer end. I feel as a business, it doesn't pose any threat or like a problem to the clients that they have currently. So, but again, I would say that is an aspect. I don't know if they are thinking of exploring on that respect, but that is one thing. I would say that comes in customer definitely. And then for that, I think we discussed multiple options, such as having a single workday experience for each employee versus one for each company. And we had different ideas along that as well. I think along the business aspect, you guys discussed about how Workday should focus more on, maybe if we talk about expanding, which could be a very big revenue stream in the future, to smaller businesses, then a scaled down version is a good thing to consider. Maybe providing like a whole all encompassing solution covering all aspects of the cycle, which it currently doesn't. Say Excel is a thing, it
Yeah.
always will be. So I think that is another thing that we talked about. So there's two, and then I would say the third is the IoT aspect. But is there anything else that you guys think we missed or could add?
Expansion.
The expansion of
Other
Anything?
markets.
Yeah, the expansion.
Expansion of market. So small size
And focus on small to medium
Trying to
businesses.
see what other companies,
Yeah.
in other countries, what who
Yeah.
are the market leaders,
Yeah.
and where are they lacking in
Yeah,
terms
and
of why they are not the market leader.
Correct. And how we can entice them to
Switch.
Yeah.
And that if that will be a seamless integration.
Another feature that I think we talked about, but I haven't mentioned here, is the customization. And we talked about easy switching between different ecosystems, right?
Yeah.
So providing that flexibility. So I guess we could add that in tech.
I think Workday should already have that, because every big CRM has a like switch from Zoho to this and that. I have seen them.
Workday is not exactly a CRM.
Yeah, it's not CRM. It's an ERP, but it might already have. I'm pretty sure on YouTube.
Exactly.
On YouTube there are tutorials. I'm 100% sure about
Or
that.
it's not exactly easy.
It's not. Yeah.
We have worked on a project which was
They have
migrating a
purposefully
CRM.
made it not easy.
Right. I think we're good on time and we've summarized everything as well. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining.
Thanks for having this session.
Yeah.
So